Great. I think we are ready to start. Welcome, everyone, to our webinar session. Today's topic is from enrollment to remote support, Famoc managed for Zebra devices. My name is Paulina Wrubel. I'm a marketing manager in Famoc. And today, together with me, there are two experts from Zebra, Marcin Kalisiak, and from Famoc, Grzegorz Jędrzejczyk. Say hello.
Hello.
Check your microphone. It's great to see you. And let's see what we have prepared for you today. Let's see on the agenda, the schedule. Of course, we will start with a short introduction about both Zebra and Famoc companies. And then we would like to present you 5 steps of mobile management so that what Famoc Manage can do for Zebra devices, starting with the enrollment process, going through the configuration, updates, as well as the SIM cards, eSIM management, and in the end, the remote support and some parameters that you can check in Famoc Manage console regarding the devices. Then we will tell you a few words about the customers and case studies and the roadmap, what we are working on right now between in the cooperation with Famoc and Zebra. At the end, we have also a small surprise for you, and that will be a special offer for our both customers. And last but not least, we will finish our webinar session with a Q&A session. So feel free to ask your questions on the question tab on the chat, as well as the Q&A section. In the end, we will answer them. What's more, the webinar is being recorded, so you will find it on our YouTube channel later on. And I guess that's all from the organizational issues. Let's start the main part. So please, Grzegorz, Marcin, the stage is yours.
Okay, thank you, Paulina. So I quickly go through the introduction of the Famoc, and Marcin will tell a few words about Zebra. So as a company, in short, we are like 15 years on the market, so a lot of experience in mobility. And what's important for today, for last more than 3 years, we highly cooperate with Zebra on a, let's say, technology side and on business side as well. So to make the products work better together, which I think later on we will talk more about all those things. But Zebra have a lot to offer on the top of general Android. Android become more enterprise solution in general right now, but Zebra from the beginning had this focus and still have a lot of advantages. So about the company, we have the customers from all the verticals. We can tell about a few case studies at the end. As a company, what's the most important? We have a main product which is called Famoc Manage, and we sell it to our customers both on-site and in the cloud, and as well something which we call dedicated hosting, so that it have advantages of the cloud, but it's dedicated virtual machine hosted by us or maintained by us, because we do not host the servers on our own, but we maintain them and make sure they are secure. And dedicated hosted gives some advantages in case of the implementation, that some integration with customer IT systems can be done, which in hosting might be sometimes a challenge. So in short, that's about that, and I think I can give right now voice to Marcin to give a few words.
Hello again. My name is Marcin Kalisiak. I represent Zebra Technologies. I'm located in Warsaw, Poland. A few words about Zebra company. You probably are well aware about us, what we do: barcode scanning, barcode printing, and enterprise mobility, rugged mobile devices. We are #1 in all those technologies. But what is most important is that 10% of our turnover is always invested in research and development. This is a kind of a rule for many, many years. Zebra is quite old company, 51 years old now, and we always invested in research and development. That is why investing brings some results. Grzegorz, please.
Oh, sorry.
And we invested a lot in Android. Grzegorz already mentioned that from the very beginning, we were trying to adjust Android system to be capable to face some challenges of enterprise world, the professional world. And we did it from the very beginning, invested quite a lot. And the result is that at the moment, we have quite substantial market share because it's around 60% in rugged enterprise mobile devices, and a few millions of devices already delivered within last 10 years. So a big number of devices already delivered, a lot of experience. We try to be always the first with a specific version of Android in the market. Android 10, we were the first in Q3 last year. Android 11 is present on most of our devices. You can test it if you like at the moment. So this is it for the beginning.
Okay, so today with Marcin, we will tell about 5 steps of, let's say, good mobile management with Zebra devices. First, we will talk about simple enrollment process. So there are a few new stuff in Famoc as well, which we'll talk about. We'll talk about remote configuration and different options that we have in Famoc to remotely configure Zebra devices. Then we'll talk about update or firmware management, which is becoming more and more important. So to maintain it on a daily basis. Pretty new stuff on the market and as well on Zebra devices are eSIM. So more and more devices will show up with eSIM capability. And what we can deliver actually right now with Famoc as well is the eSIM management, but we'll talk about it later on. And remote access and some additional pretty new features in Famoc, which we'll mention later on. So let's jump into the first topic. So simple enrollment process. So I will tell what's becoming really highly used by most of customers which are making new implementations or buying the new devices, new fleet, or exchanging the fleet is where trying most of customers or all of them, if possible, to encourage to use auto enrollment, because it's simply, we know that at the end the customers are really happy about it, because what it may be in few words, what is auto enrollment or Android Zero Touch for those which are not aware? It's the automated system made by Google, actually, Zero Touch. So it means every single Android have inside of operating system capability that at the first time when you turn on the phone, it's asking the central server, Google server, if the device is, let's say, B2B device. So if it should be automatically managed by Famoc or any other EMM system. And if yes, there are, all policies from can be delivered directly to the device, and then the device can be enrolled in cloud or on-premise installation. So in short, that's what auto enrollment is about to do, which is really important for those which know device management for many years, because it was also always challenging for adding the devices. So you can manage the devices, but there are some users which have not added the device, or they forgot to add, or whatever else. So this is simply helping us to close any security breaches, let's say, for mobile devices which are not managed, that can have access to our internal IT resources. So if you have this kind of automation enrollment, it's simply making this stuff simpler. So you can close all the systems, IT systems, only for the devices which are being managed. That's making it easier. So Famoc have this integration, and you can do a lot of stuff, and like enrollment and different type of enrollment. So enrollment could be done by some special codes which are delivered by SMS, email, or QR codes to the end user. Or what's pretty new in Famoc, we can as well do the integration with external identity providers via SAML protocol, for example. So in this case, you can use Office 365, so or Azure or any other this type of providers during the enrollment of the device. I think, Marcin, maybe you can add and on the top of that, because on Zebra, not only Android, not only zero touch, but we have other possibilities.
Yeah. For enterprises, it's extremely important to provide line workers with devices as soon as possible and configure perfectly without any problems, because they need to earn money, they need to be productive. That's why zero touch is very interesting tool, because you can get device out of the box, up and running, enrolled to your Famoc console, provided with all the policies, applications, and so on, configurations. So device is ready to work out of the box, as they say. So it's very teasing. But there are some situations where it's not possible to do it exactly automatic way, like Google designed the process, because there is no access to internet simply. For example, if you are somewhere in the warehouse, you need to connect to the network which will be used for zero touch enrollment, and you need some tool to make this connection possible in automatic, in massive deployment way. For that, we can use StageNow tool from Zebra. Sometimes you need to have a private VPN because you do not have another option. Also, StageNow tool can help you to define private VPN and then run zero-touch enrollment process.
Okay, so if there will be any question about zero touch, you can ask always the question, and I think we'll try to answer at the end with Marcin for all the questions. So if you have any question in mind, just ask them on the chat, please. Okay, so remote configuration. So if we manage the device, we need to deliver a lot of configurations, and in case of Zebra devices, there is really, I don't know, hundreds or thousands of different type of configuration that you can actually deliver. Starting with simple ones, so what should be available on the device, and including configuring specific applications or the hardware part of the device, like RFID reader or barcode scanner, and then those stuff. So in Famoc, we had for a pretty long time the possibility to send many configurations to Zebra devices. What's maybe not very new, but still we see a lot of customers are not using the advantage of it. So we would like to a little bit advertise it. There's what Zebra created, and we actually supported this feature in Famoc. There is Zebra OM config application. So actually in Famoc, if you add the application from Managed Google Play, Zebra OM config app, you are able to configure the application and deliver a lot of other configurations. And what is very important that at the time, so there's like 0-day delivery. So you don't need to, for example, update Famoc server to support new configuration. It's enough when Zebra update their application with those new configuration, and they are delivered at the same day when they publish actually the application in Google Play. So when they publish it officially, it's the same day it's available in Famoc. So that's important. So Marcin, if you can add on the top of that, and I will in the meantime show in the Famoc console how it looks.
Okay, so as you remember, I told at the very beginning that Zebra invested a lot in Android, extending its capabilities to be productive, to be manageable, to be secure. Over the years, Google developed Android Enterprise, being pushed by market players like Zebra in between. And one of the mechanisms that we are pushing for was to find a standard way to expose additional configurations like devices like Zebra can provide to be accessible from EMM, MDM console directly without deep knowledge of MDM and EMM partners, what the parameters are there, without any encoding, without any implementation efforts. And OEM config is exactly the mechanism which exposes specific vendor parameters available on their devices via EMM and MDM console. So, for example, when Zebra introduces some new features that are not present now, but will be present, for example, in a few months, and we deliver new version of OEM application to Google Play, those parameters will be directly, automatically exposed inside Famoc console. So to summarize, all the value adds of Zebra devices are available immediately in your Famoc console via OEM config mechanism.
So as you can see on the screen, there is really 100, I think, of different type of configuration. We will not mention all of them, but it's yeah, opening doors for whatever I think any project requires. Actually, really, Zebra got a lot of those functionalities. So
we are trying to have the same parameters which we expose via StageNow tool via our OEM config. Of course, sometimes not everything is present there, but we'll try to do as much as possible over time. In the meantime, if you are looking for some specific parameters not available in OEM config, still you can use StageNow tool to configure that.
Okay, so let's jump to firmware management, something which I think especially Zebra customers might as well, when they get used to Windows CE, many of customers in the past, they were not updating the devices. I think it's very important to mention that these days it's really critical. We can mention that Android is the most secure mobile management system right now in the world, but there's very important but. If you update the system and it's like up to date. So in general, when we say Android is secure system, it depends how you look on the market. There's plenty of, or millions, hundreds of millions of the devices, Android devices, which have old Android without security patches. Those are not secure systems. So I think very important fact of the Zebra is that like almost every month, I think, Martin, Zebra is releasing the LiveGuard over-the-air updates. And what we wanted today talk about is the LiveGuard over-the-air. So Martin will tell about this, what's actually LiveGuard. I can just mention that we made the integration together with Famoc. So it was almost always possible to deliver the updates via Famoc to Zebra devices, but it was challenging. So somebody with the real knowledge was required. So he needed to download specific firmware from Zebra websites, create some specific configuration through StageNow or Famoc, and deliver that to specific devices. Right now, it's very easy, and I will show it within a second in the interface, that you just have the device and you see everything in interface. You can see what the update will actually deliver, what functionalities or what fixes it includes, and it's very easy to use. So let me show it, and Martin, if you can tell about it.
Okay, so I will start from a small, let's say, comment that everything we are talking about today, all the new functionalities, we are working with our EMM and MDM partners. There are a lot of them on the market, of course, but some of them are flexible, innovative, some are a bit lazy. And I can tell that with Famoc, we have very good cooperation, and most of the features that we introduce are very quickly deployed by Famoc. So Zero Touch was one of the first MDMs. Famoc was one of the first MDMs with this functionality. And regarding updates of security updates and deploying to devices in automatic way, we think that it's most elegant and most efficient solution that's available at the moment. But coming back to updates, Grzegorz mentioned that Android is most secure. if you update on time, because the issue is that Android is very popular. It's not only enterprise type of operation system, it's also consumer, and there is a lot of exposure on hacking, malware, and so on and so on. That's why it's opposite to Windows world, legacy Windows world. Now you should be on the appropriate level of security. That's why you need to update. But of course, you want to focus on productivity, on your line worker tasks, and you don't want to think about which update for which devices should I apply, when to do it, how, and so on, where to find it, where to download, what's the bugs inside that are cleared, and so on and so on. That's why we provided API for this LiveGuard patches deployment. LiveGuard is our name of our program for security patches delivery. And you can now, from MDM console, from Famoc console, you can deploy the patches directly on the devices via over-the-air mechanism. As Grzegorz mentioned, we try to issue the patches as often as possible. Android Enterprise recommended program condition tells every 90 days, but actually we try to do it every 30 days, so every month, unless it's not necessary because there were not any important bugs or fixes necessary for the devices. And what is also very important to remember is that we provide patches for newest version of Android available for specific device, but we are also providing patches for older versions of Android system available for device. This is extremely important when you plan to migrate from Android 8 to 10 or something else, for example, and you are not pressed by Zebra to do it immediately because there will not be security patches. You have very long transition period, usually it's 1 year, when you still have old patches for old devices, and you can, in this time, smoothly and without rush, move your application, validate your application for next Android version. And now, Grzegorz, please show, because Grzegorz was showing in the meantime, but make some, let's say, comments on
so I hope that in the meantime, what I was showing was pretty obvious. I showed release notes of the update, so it includes a lot of things. One which is part of the next. So you can see that one of the updates that I looked into actually is adding the support to enable eSIM provisioning to Zebra devices. So it will be our next topic. And delivering the updates, you can deliver them to one device or 100 of devices through the console, and you can decide if it's applied automatically right now at the time when the operation will be delivered, or during some specific period of time. So, for example, like during the weekend, if you don't want to interrupt the working hours, then you can decide that the upgrade will be delivered in specific hours or specific day. I think that's pretty all. So it's pretty simple, as we said. What it requires is just a very simple integration with Zebra account. So in Famoc, you just provide credentials and make the integration together with Zebra account. And when the devices are in contract, so when they are supported, then everything should be working just fine. So just to mention, if you have the Zebra devices without contract, if you connected the Famoc, then the upgrades will simply not be working. So. Okay, so let's jump into the eSIM. That's pretty, so let me just take off the console. So eSIM management, that's natural that right now when we have all the automation process of enrollment of the device with delivering EMM and all type of business application that we need to deliver, it would be good if we can deliver the SIM card as well, so we don't need to unpack the device, put the SIM card into it, and then send it to a specific person or end user which will be using the device. I think we right now with Zebra have everything in place. That's something worth mentioning. Until now, I'm not aware of any other player on the market which have the eSIM management as a vendor who added that. So general Android is not giving this support. So in Zebra, I mean, there's a lot of devices which have eSIM management, but manual process by the end user. So they scan the QR code and add the SIM card. But as an automation process, I don't recall any other vendor which is having that. So that's good to mention. And So what eSIM will do is making our life easier so that we can deliver the SIM card easily during the enrollment process and exchange it as well. So if we are changing the network provider, or maybe we want to have few different network providers because of the coverage problems or this matters. I'm, for example, myself for 2 years or more right now using the eSIM in case of traveling abroad. So I'm delivering the SIM card for a specific country. So that's also the case which might be happening, that you can, for example, have the device with local SIM card, which might be physical, but for a specific country that the whatever transport company is using, that we can deliver the different eSIM card to that. And what's more, it's very easy in the process right now in Famoc that we just provide the specific activation codes for a specific SIM card, and then Famoc can deliver it directly to Zebra. More challenging right now on the market is to have the support of your network providers. We see more and more in Europe network providers to support it, but still delivering in a good process, I think it might be challenging, but we are ready. I think we're ready, what we can say on both sides, so that's important. So if you think you can, together with your network provider, deliver all the important data that we require to activate the SIM cards, then we're ready to go. Marcin, maybe mention about the device, because there are some important facts.
First, let me add which devices are currently supported. In general, all the devices that will appear on the market, all our new devices will support eSIM feature, because this is very important feature, in my opinion, for enterprise customers. Currently, in our offered devices, you have TC26. Just note that specific configs support eSIM. So when choosing part number, it's important to check if it's eSIM capable. EC55 and also TC57X. Those devices are eSIM ready, need some adjustment in software, but are capable of this. And all new devices will be capable. And let me also mention that for enterprise customer, having a mechanism like zero-touch enrollment, automatic updates, eSIM plastic card is the last blocker of productivity, because someone in IT or you as a partner delivering to end customer, someone has to put this physical SIM. And later on during the production phase, this eSIM, this plastic SIM is also an obstacle, because it can somehow be removed by worker, it can be lost, it can be broken. There are some issues with eSIM, which is virtual representation of plastic card. You do not have this problem at all. That's why it's very interesting for most of customer, and I think it will become very popular. And not to mention the scenarios that Grzegorz described, like many networks at a time, or quick changing networks if it's really necessary.
Okay, so I think, as we said, it's pretty simple. So I just showed in the meantime that it was EC55, so the one which Marcin mentioned as well. We have the SIM card delivered to that, and so it's simply working. That's something I tested myself. Okay, so let's jump into the remote access. This is very old functionality that we have from the beginning of our system, but it's still very critical. And what's important to mention, so in the meantime, I was showing you remote access, how it was working actually on a Zebra device. So you can control fully the device, and I was not touching the device. Everything was being done remotely. And in case of Zebra, it's good to mention that remote access, because not all on all Android available on the market, Famoc can use, let's say, screenshot functionality, so that we can see the screen inside of our console, so you can remotely support the user. But not on all Android devices you can simulate the key presses, so actually do the operation on behalf of the user. In case of Zebra, all the devices are supported, and there is API. And I think Marcin, you can mention how it's working.
It's important to remember that Android Enterprise does not support remote control of devices. Only remote view is possible. That is the reason why remote control has to be realized other way. And the way that Google suggests to provide remote control is to create dedicated API by equipment vendor, not to break, jeopardize somehow security of the device. And this is how it is deployed in Zebra. There's a dedicated API that allows remote control in real time. You can do whatever operation you only think of. It's exactly like you would be keeping your device in your hand, and all the things are done remotely by IT staff. It's the right way to do. I don't know why our competitors or other devices on the market, they do not support this type of mechanism, which is really secure and is Google recommended. That's why we follow this way, and it's secure for you and for your end customer, which is most important.
Okay, so so what we can jump in is the case study. So I don't want to go through all case studies. It's worth mentioning that we got really plenty of different customers together with Zebra, and of course different devices managed without Zebra as well. But what is good to mention is, as I said, there are all type of verticals. Zebra are right now in most of the verticals that are available. Maybe it was not present too much on the specific like white collar enterprise market. So the devices are rather to the blue collar workers, but there are pretty new devices like EC55, which are really pretty nice, and they don't look really like a rugged device and still give the functionality with barcode scanners and this stuff. So if there will be any question about specific customers, we can mention them later on. But really right now there is plenty of customers with thousands of Zebra devices using together with Famoc, and that's simply working very well. So what we can mention is maybe more jump into the roadmaps. And Marcin, if you can start maybe talking about what new we have, and I will try to add something on top of that.
Yes, as a team, together with Famoc, we try to invest money and time to make Famoc even better and to make management of Zebra devices more functional and easier for you, and more interesting for your customer to pay for the license. So for next months, what's on the roadmap? What do we plan? Maybe some of you have heard about Zebra visibility services. As Zebra, for the customer that agree to send analytical data from the devices to the Zebra cloud, we provide a service which analyzes the data about devices behavior and provide some interesting insights and predictions of what good or what wrong can happen to the devices. For example, we can compare the productivity of devices, how many scans each site is doing for a similar process, how the devices behave regarding the network connectivity. Do they roam okay in Wi-Fi networks, or do they have some problems? Do they use too much electricity in some sites compared to the other? So to summarize, we provide some insight into devices behavior and workers behavior in some let's say situation that we could prevent, that could somehow lead to some problems in operations. So all that is available from Zebra, but some of the customer would prefer probably to have this information embedded directly into their Famoc managed console, because anyway for management of the devices they use Famoc. So the idea is that we as Zebra, we provide APIs for this cloud-based Visibility IQ platform, and Famoc can implement some of the APIs, some of the interfaces that are interested for your customer to be visible and accessible directly from Famoc Managed Console. So we are already after some discussions how to implement it. So we know how to do it, and just looking for, let's say, interest and opportunities with your end customers to be able to provide this type of functionality. Second area of investment is RFID. RFID is very common at the moment, it's very popular, it's trendy. You can see it in retail especially, where everybody is trying not to use barcodes intensively anymore, but to have a tool to read everything at once by single press of trigger. RFID is a radio technology, so it's capable of such processes, and it's more and more popular. And we have more and more mobile devices supporting RFID in the field at the moment, and also some fixed infrastructure, fixed readers to create some gates when some goods are being read, that are tagged up are being read. And all this infrastructure shall be managed, and why not to manage it directly from MDM system, EMM system, as any other devices. So this is the other area that we are exploring together, and we want to offer to you capability to manage Zebra RFID devices. And last but not the least is the multi-user feature. In enterprise environment, very often it's popular that there are a lot of shifts and people are using the same device, but we would like them to keep the data that they were using and not to be lost when other people are using device after them. So this is the next feature that will be available for Zebra devices from Famoc Manage. And Grzegorz, if you could mention status of each of
so in case of we've because in the past we know the competition was making the Zebra Visibility IQ implementation. Right now we look there is more and more Savannah API which are like available, and we definitely right now looking, and I will not give specific dates, but we're highly looking into a few functionalities. Like in Famoc, we have the customers which like the functionality of all the life cycle management and the process of service reporting. So what's the status of the device, if it's going to service or not. So there, for example, the nice APIs that we've seen and we are looking into with Zebra is implementing the Zebra API so that we will know the live status of the Zebra repair and delivery status of the device. So that's something that we are looking. And there is plenty of others, like we, for example, we recently added the functionality of looking into specific parameters like battery lifetime or the temperature. But actually, what was very nice that we looked that Zebra actually not only look into the battery lifetime, but actually using the machine learning mechanism, which they give analyzed data, which we would like to show for Zebra devices, which is like based on all knowledge of the million devices that they delivered. Is actually not only based on parameters, because I think all of us knows how it looks. Actually, you can look into the very nice functionality I like in iPhones. Actually, if you look in iPhones in settings, it's showing like you got 90% of your battery lifetime, and in reality, it's not working any longer. Yeah, so it's like last maybe for half time or so. So based on that, Zebra try to deliver real data of when the battery should be replaced. So there's plenty of this type of functionality which we would like to integrate with Savannah API to give directly in our interface, because that's pretty obvious that maintaining two different consoles, it's always a challenge. If you have one console, we see, and our customers see advantage of managing everything in one place. So we're definitely right now looking at in coming months to implement more of this Savannah APIs into Famoc. So I will not give specific date right now, but please look at that, and I think in coming newsletters we will show what will be delivered. So when it's going about RFID devices, there's not a lot to talk. We are not supporting specific things, but I've seen a lot of, again, nice Savannah API, which can deliver really critical or very business important data, like how the devices are used, how often the RFID readers were used, And those are the things that we are looking into. So to get directly the data from Zebra, how RFID readers are used. And on the configuration side, I already shown like omconfig or through the direct Famoc configuration, you can deliver the specific configuration for RFID devices. So, so again, there's still a lot to do with RFID devices, and we'll be adding those functionality definitely. And very important feature from our side is pretty soon. Right now there are some customers which are entering the POC test phase of this functionality, so it's not released officially yet. There's a lot of challenging question how to solve multi-user, so how you should deliver application to which user, because we get used to managing or the whole device or the work profile, so separated container. But in case of multi-user, there is really a lot of challenges, so we're trying to make this feature working pretty well with our customers, but pretty soon it will be delivered, and it will be supported on Zebra devices. So you will be able to log into Zebra device with some credential, like whatever Azure AD credential or even local AD credentials through Famoc to the device, and that's how it will work simply. So you will have your own separate application with separate data, and yeah, the device tablet or Zebra handhelds can be used together with that. Okay, so I think we can jump into the questions, and
maybe sorry for interrupting.
Yeah,
thank you for your presentation. Maybe before the questions, I would like to add, Grzegorz, if you could skip the slide, we will be back to the questions because we have some of them on the Q&A session. But before that, I would like to tell you about our special offer for our BOF customers, actually for new Famoc customers, but those who have or just buy new Zebra devices. We have a free Famoc managed license for the Zebra Lifeguard service. It's because, as you mentioned, the Zebra Lifeguard and the update management is one of the most important features for our BOF customers. So that is why we decided to give you 50 licenses of Famoc managed UEM for those service of Zebra Lifeguard. And of course, if you have, and it's for 1 year in cloud or on-site. So this is what we have for you. And if you need more information about this special offer, please feel free to contact us. You can write on marketing at famoc.com, or you can just visit our website. And of course, we will communicate this special offer these days on our LinkedIn profile and so on, and our mailings. So you will probably heard about it once again. And okay, let's see what we have in our question tab. We have one question about the multi-user feature. Which Zebra devices support multi-user feature? We are currently making use of TC5657 devices, which at this stage does not support multi-user.
So
I think
so.
Yeah.
I think that there were some part delivered in Android 10, but if I'm not mistaken, Android 11 delivers most of multi-user framework. So actually, there will be no difference which device. I think critical is Android 11 to deliver, let's say, proper functionality, if I'm right. Marcin, are you aware of?
Yes, you are absolutely right. It's dependent of Android OS system version, and we are looking for Android 11 to support fully multi-user feature, and Android 11 is already available for download at the moment from our webpage for some of Zebra devices. It will be cut off into production, so when you order something, it will come with Android 11 somewhere in the beginning of the next year. but check our website if for your device Android 11 is already available. And of course, you need to wait a little bit for Famoc to support this feature.
Okay, thank you very much. And I can see one more question. It's about OM config, how to configure OM config using Famoc manage in Famoc.
So you just need to add the application. So if you have the integration with managed Google Play, you just add the Zebra OM config application. So just find it in the, click in Famoc add application, find it in the managed Google Play, add it to the list, and then when you go inside of the application, there should be a tab called configuration, edit configuration, and then you can just configure whatever parameters you would like to for the whole application. So when you just push the application through policy or directly to one device, the application should be delivered directly with the configuration. So that's pretty it. So
but I guess, Grzegorz, there might be some issue with understanding which parameter means what exactly, because there are a lot of parameters, like several hundreds, and for somebody it can be not very clear what I really can configure using those parameters. So you can always refer to Zebra technical documentation. There is a dedicated portal, techdocs.zebra.com, where you will find OEM config tab, and you can check the current list of or specific for OEM config version list of parameters with full description of what do they mean and how to use them. So you are not blind, you have documentation where you can find how to use it.
There is in Famoc, there are some like eye icon with near the parameter, which is telling a little bit, but as Martin said, the documentation on their website is giving the full overview, and it should make clear what specific parameter, what it will actually deliver, because you sometimes just see the values like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and you are not aware exactly what it's doing. But yeah, we suggest to go to the website to look into that. Yeah, definitely.
Okay, I guess that's all the questions. So thank you very much for coming. Thank you, Grzegorz, Martin, for your being with us and for your presentation. Hope to see you soon. And thank you and have a good day. Bye.
Okay, thank you very much.
Bye. Thank you.